Aloha Aquarius Ohana. My name is Alicia Marie, also known as the Magic Siren, and this is your June 2025 Tarotscope forecast. Today I will be using the Modern Witch deck, the Rider-Waite Centennial deck, the Wild Unknown Pocket deck, and both the Life Purpose and Romance Angel decks. If you are feeling called to any of the decks that I'm using, you can find all of them in my Amazon storefront, which is linked below. Quick announcement, I have a brand new promo code for the month of June. Use SUMMER15, no spaces, at checkout on themagicsiren.com for 15% off all personal readings, both emailed and live sessions. A massive thank you to everyone over on our Patreon. Your support means so much to me. I post almost daily over there. If you would like to join our little magical community, you can find that link down below as well. And of course, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn your notifications on so you never miss a reading or a magical update. So let's go ahead and dive into the cards and see what June has in store for you. Okay, Aquarius, let's go right into your June 2025 Tarotscope forecast. What's coming in for you this month? Really looking for any insight, guidance, or maybe some answers that you're looking for. And we are asking Universe and Spirit to bring those forward. Oh, wonderful way to start off the month here. We have the Wheel of Fortune coming out. We're going to go ahead and get 3 more cards here for a nice solid 4-card spread. We will be clarifying all of these cards with 2 other tarot decks, as well as some oracle cards throughout the reading. So have a seat and just relax a little bit. We have lots of messages coming in over these next 20 minutes. We have Judgment coming out in reversal, the Hierophant in reversal, and then the Ace of Cups. Wonderful energy here. Let's go ahead and kind of dive right in. Like I mentioned, we will be clarifying these, so we're going to get deeper messages as we move through the reading, but let's see what we have here on the table so far. We have the Wheel of Fortune, Judgment in reversal, the Hierophant in reversal, and then the Ace of Cups. Now, when we see these reversals, it can represent some challenges or obstacles that we might sort of come across, or we might have to overcome this month, and we'll go ahead and talk about that in a minute. But let's start off with this amazing energy of the Wheel of Fortune. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is the one card in the tarot deck that is consistently turning. It's always in motion. It represents the wheel of life, okay? So the wheel of life is always in motion. It's always kind of turning and flowing. And when we see it in the upright, it means that generally we are on an upswing right now. We are on an upswing in our life. We're seeing our luck in life, our luck in love, our luck overall is changing for the better. We're starting to see our fortunes coming in. Some of that hard work that we've really kind of put in over the last 6 months since the beginning of the year is really starting to pay off. And overall, we're feeling good. This month of June is going to at least start off really positive energy, really good forward motion. Now, we're seeing this Judgment coming out in reversal. When we see the Judgment card in the upright, it's really about divine timing and allowing ourselves to kind of shed away our old versions of who we used to be, so that way we can move forward without allowing the judgment or the opinions of others really sway our decisions. We are seeing this in reversal. So I would say when it comes to this Wheel of Fortune energy and really kind of feeling like we're on an upswing during the month of June, you might find yourself surrounded by people that are looking at the glass as half empty. Maybe there are some friends, some coworkers, maybe family members that are kind of raining on your parade a little bit. Maybe their opinion or their judgment of the decisions that you wish to make are really kind of weighing on you a little bit more than what they should. This is that sort of gentle reminder from your universe and spirit to not allow that opinion or judgment of those people stop you from being on this upswing in your life right now, because you are on an upswing. You've done quite a bit of inner work, that shadow work, and you've allowed yourself to wait out the storm, and the happiness and the growth is coming in for you now. Try your best not to allow any of that energy from the external sort of parties stop you from moving forward and really showing up for yourself every single day. The Hierophant is out in the reversal, but when we see it in the upright, it's like, okay, the key to success here is tradition, it's routine, it's structure, showing up every day, having that daily routine. Maybe you have a daily routine and you're starting to see judgment or opinions from other people on social media, and you're sort of questioning if your routine is worth it. Is my routine good enough? Am I doing the right things every day? Try not to second guess that routine. This Hierophant in reversal tells me that there are some challenges and obstacles when it comes to your day-to-day life. What is it that we're putting our time, energy, and intention into? The thing about the Hierophant, it says the key to success is showing up every day. The key to success is ticking off those boxes. Maybe you need to make more lists. I know that air energy of Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini, it's all about like making lists and tallying them off, showing yourself that every day you are getting it done. And that also in turn kind of helps you remember why you are choosing to do certain things in your life, especially during the month of June. But look at how beautiful this is. We have new opportunities for emotional fulfillment coming in, at least at the end of June. You might see this earlier, but at least that last week of June, we're starting to see emotional fulfillment, opportunities for new emotional growth, new emotional fulfillment. The Ace of Cups, anytime you see the ace cards, it's always going to have some sort of hand or something kind of handing you whatever that sort of element or that suit is. So when we see the cup suit, it's all about our emotions. It's about our connections with other people. It's relationships. It's love in every sense. Self-love. It's love with romantic partners. It's platonic love with friends. It's all of that emotional fulfillment. And when you see this Ace of Cups, this is literally universe saying, here you go. Here's an opportunity for emotional fulfillment. Are you going to put your cup underneath it and allow it to fulfill your cup? Or are we going to get a little bit nervous because of some external sort of opinions or judgment of others? Let's go ahead and clarify. I'm going to pull out our second tarot deck here, and I would like to see what's going on. What is happening with that Judgment in reversal as well as that Hierophant? And is this Ace of Cups going to be a new love offer in a romantic way? Is this going to just be something that is going to give you emotional fulfillment? We do have the Ten of Wands in reversal, which is so beautiful to see. That pretty hard-working season of your life is finally coming to an end, which is fantastic. I'm not saying that you're not going to work hard this next season, but all of the hard work that you did from the previous season, which more than likely was probably since January, it really paid off. It really paid off. And now you're in this place now where you're going from an old season into a new season in your life. And when that happens, there can be that uncomfortability, and that might be why we're seeing Judgment and the Hierophant in reversal. We're having to, completely change our daily routine. We're no longer doing whatever this was, all that hard work. Now it's time to kind of rearrange things. Let's go ahead and continue clarifying. We'll talk more about that in just a minute. We do have the Five of Swords kind of coming out here. Really kind of saying, we are at the end of the line when it comes to this previous season in our life. And it's time for us to pick up our swords and kind of go our separate ways. We have the King of Cups coming out, which is fantastic. More than likely, a lot of you are going to be sitting in a place of emotional balance throughout this month. I love seeing the Hierophant coming out now in the upright. That is our first double of the reading here. And when we get a double in a reading, it just says that what we're saying about this card is very much true for you at this time. And it's going to be a bigger theme or a bigger message to take away from the reading as a whole. So if you don't take anything else away from the reading today, at least just take away the fact that your day-to-day routine, the structure, the lifestyle that you're building through the month of June is really going to play a huge key role in the successes through the rest of the year for you. June is going to be a pretty important month when it comes to your lifestyle and your routine. And I do feel like the previous sort of chapter or season in your life really kind of taught you what you want in your day-to-day routine and what you don't want, what you're working towards and what you don't necessarily want to work towards. So let's go ahead and kind of dive in here. Let's kind of digest these clarifying cards. We're going to do another tarot deck after this, so we'll get even deeper, but let's kind of digest these first. So when we see the Ten of Wands coming out, it does represent going from one season in our life to a new season. You can see that this figure just kind of bundled all of these wands together and is taking them back to their house right here. And they're going to end up processing these wands. When they process those wands, it's going to be, okay, they're going to take some seeds to plant for their new season. They're going to take some of it and they're going to maybe, take the lessons that came with it. What worked on growing these wands this previous season and what didn't. And then really kind of scrapping the rest, right? Anything that doesn't kind of fit into any sort of forward fulfillment, we don't need to hold space for it. We can let that go and kind of compost it, right? So seeing this in reversal tells me that this has already happened for you. You've already sort of walked into this new season. You've processed some of these things from the past, and now you're allowing the upswing of your life to happen. And I think that's fantastic. When that happens, though, when we go from one season into the next season, sometimes there can be some confusion. One, we're not the same person that we were in that previous season. So this new version of yourself is going to have to take some time and figure out, okay, who am I now? What am I working towards now? What does success look like for me now? What does happiness look like for me? What does my day-to-day routine look like now? And really kind of looking back and picking up those swords. Now, these swords are lessons, okay? The Five of Swords represents being at like the end of the war, at the end of the fight, right? And so where everybody's walking their own way, you can kind of see that everybody's going their own direction. And so these swords are on the ground. And so ultimately your universe and spirit say, okay, it's your turn to pick up what swords you wish to take with you and start moving forward. And these swords are the lessons. So you're kind of being asked here to say, okay, instead of using the judgment or the opinions of others, let's allow ourselves, because there's kind of like these coffins here that everybody's standing in, and these coffins are going to take our old versions of us and wash them away, right? So you're already kind of going through that, going into this new season in your life. And this is all happening in the month of June, right? So you're being asked to allow this old version of yourself to kind of be washed away and to take whatever lessons were of a very high importance and put them into practice moving forward. And trying your best not to overthink it, and really allowing yourself to stay in that emotionally balanced energy that you are embodying the month of June. The King of Cups is water energy, which is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Cancer season's not far. Cancer season is the season right after Gemini season, and that is happening towards the end of June. So you might find yourself come Cancer season, the beginning of Cancer season, really kind of feeling different when it comes to your emotions in a good, positive way. The King of Cups is very emotionally balanced, okay? So, he does not allow his emotions to get the best of him. When he's angry about something, he's not going to make these rash sort of decisions that he's going to regret in the future or say something that he regrets. When he's really excited about something, he doesn't make an impulsive decision, right? The Hierophant being underneath this, having this as a clarifying card, it's telling me really listen to your emotions and be compassionate when building your day-to-day routine this month of June. Because again, the old version of you is gone at this point, and it's a good thing. We can mourn it and we can allow ourselves to feel, nostalgic about it, but we're not getting overly emotional. We're not allowing that emotion to control our life. If anything, we're using it to keep us balanced, to keep us mature in a sense of, what is the mature thing for me to add into my day-to-day life, and finding the successes that come from it. And not only the successes, but emotional fulfillment, especially for those of you that are looking for love in whatever way that love is. Again, whether it's with, a romantic partnership, maybe finding some new friends, building a new community. Maybe this is repairing relationships with people in your family. There is that energy of love that's really kind of coming in. And I find it interesting that we're seeing, the second half of June over here, that is Cancer season, which is water energy. And it's really a time to feel our emotions. And you're coming into this sort of Cancer season very emotionally mature, emotionally available. You've seen what works and what doesn't work in the past. Your luck in life and in love is on an upswing. Allow yourself to be the boss of that sort of life, your life, being the main character. And part of the main character is making sure that your lifestyle and your day-to-day routine really match the ultimate outcome that you're looking for. And I think part of the ultimate outcome that you're looking for is asking yourself, what does that look like for the new version of you, Aquarius? I want to go ahead and pull out our third and final tarot deck and get some extra clarity, just a little bit extra. I want to, I like to dive deep in these monthly forecasts. We have the Mother of Swords, which is the Queen of Swords in this deck. And again, that's coming out perfect timing because that is the air element of swords. That is your elemental queen, and we're also in Gemini season. So this is really telling us to speak our truth moving forward, not being afraid to use our voice, and maybe even using our voice as a way of manifestation this month. 10 of Pentacles, absolute beauty. Let's get some snaps in the chat for that. We have a lot of success and positive energy coming in for us over this month of June. I'm telling you, your luck is changing and you're seeing it happen in real time this June. We have the Six of Cups again. That could feel like nostalgia. We did talk about nostalgia in this position as well. And sometimes, it can be difficult to allow the old versions of ourselves to kind of be washed away because of nostalgic feelings. Again, could be testing our emotional balance, our emotional maturity. But I think you're going to overcome that, no problem. King of Cups in reversal there, kind of going back and forth. It's very interesting that you have, the Hierophant, King of Cups, Hierophant, King of Cups, but ultimately Ace of Cups there, nostalgia here. Let's go ahead and kind of dive in. We're going to pull out some love oracles as well as the spirit oracles in a minute, just to kind of get some final messages from spirit. But let's just kind of dive right into these final cards here. We have that Queen of Swords energy, Mother of Swords in this deck. And the Queen of Swords is, the queen of communications. Don't be afraid to speak your mind this June or really throughout Gemini and Cancer season. I think this previous season of your life really taught you so much about yourself and who you are moving forward that you almost kind of feel more confident in speaking your truth. Allow yourself to use that. It's almost like the Wheel of Fortune is giving you this sort of forward confidence and momentum, saying like, here's a little bit of a taste of what's to come if you continue allowing yourself to move through these seasons in your life and really take all of those lessons and put them into practice. The Queen of Swords, she also uses her communication skills to speak what she wants into existence. If you aren't using spoken affirmations, especially into the mirror, I'm going to challenge you as your therapist this month to look into the mirror every day and say 3 things out loud that you are manifesting into your life in a present tense, saying, I am in my dream home, or I own my dream car, or I am in the most fulfilling romantic relationship that I can imagine. Really getting into present tense mirror affirmations and speaking them out loud, because that's what the Queen of Swords is all about. Then we have that 10 of Pentacles coming out, which is absolute fulfillment on a material level, right? So the 10 of Pentacles is everything that you can want is starting to come in for you now. And it makes sense coming out on top of that 5 of Swords energy, Judgment in reversal, because as you start to get those pentacles and see them germinating, you see the seeds that you've planted over the last 6 months starting to grow, there is that energy of judgment in reversal. Remember, you have some people around you that might be trying to rain on your parade. Don't allow that to cloud your focus. Continue to see all of those seeds that you planted growing, because they have all those lessons that you learned. You put them into practice. You're continuing to put them into practice, and all of that success is on the way. And you're going to start to see a lot of glimmers of that this month. And that's probably why we're seeing that double Hierophant there. Again, reevaluating what your day-to-day life looks like, what your routine is, right? 6 of Cups, nostalgic energy. We did talk about this a little bit. It's interesting that that came out after we said nostalgia. The 6 of Cups can represent that energy of almost kind of like childlike memories. This could even be like you tending to your inner child. More than likely this month of June, you're going to be in a position where you're going to be able to do something that you've always wanted to do as a child. And that's going to kind of fulfill that inner child of yours. But I do feel like sometimes when we get into that nostalgic energy, it can go one of 2 ways. We're either happy about it and we look back on it with this sort of energy of smiling and happiness and like, wow, I really made it. Or sometimes we can kind of go into this position of like, I really miss that, and a longing of it. And that's where we start to see the King of Cups going in reversal. Try your best not to go on that second half of the scale, right? Try your best to stay more in that positive mindset of like, I did this. And even though I'm in a new chapter of my life, I'm a new version of me. it doesn't necessarily mean that the old version of you doesn't mean anything anymore. I want to go ahead and actually pull out the love oracles and just kind of get a little final message in terms of emotional fulfillment. We have love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. This is the card of self-love, self-care. And it's so interesting that this is coming out because we have the second half of June. It's all about emotional fulfillment. So from now until then, ride the wave of the Wheel of Fortune, your upswing in life, and do extra self-love and self-care, whatever that looks like for you, whether it's speaking those affirmations into the mirror 3 times a day, whether it's doing extra breath work and meditation, maybe it's going out on nature walks, maybe it's listening to live music, whatever that sort of self-love and self-care is, do more of that the first half of June. So that way, when this opportunity for emotional fulfillment comes in, we're not feeling the negative side of nostalgia, but more of the positive side, that we're going into this new chapter in our life really ready to go. I want to go ahead and get our general messages here. These are general oracles. This is anywhere else that can be fit into your life, just any extra little tidbit that maybe universe and spirit have for you. Ooh, time to decide. Make a decision based on your heart's truest desires. Everything is about the heart this month for you, Aquarius. I'm going to say this. I feel like a lot of you have already made the decision to walk away into this new season in your life. If you have been watching this video and you're like, I'm still in this old season, it is time for you to decide this month. Make that decision based on your heart's desires here. And after hearing everything about that King of Cups in reversal, the nostalgia, the Hierophant, take that into consideration. Remember, don't allow the negative opinion or judgment of others sway your decisions this month, and really go based on what your heart truly desires, speaking your truth, and loving yourself first. This has been really nice. I love this for you for the month of June. I hope you could find some clarity and guidance with this reading. If you want a personal reading, you can always head over to my website, themagicsiren.com. I post regularly over on Patreon as well, so I hope to see you over there. And other than that, stay safe. I will see you again throughout the month here on my YouTube channel, so make sure you're subscribed and turn your notifications on. I'll see you then. Aloha.